Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are going to get started right here promptly at 11 since we do have quite a bit of content today. But thank you for joining us. Today we are kicking off our April Internship Awareness Month. Here in the UCC, it is actually National Internship Awareness Month. So we have a great month full of events for you. Starting off today with our experience talks, creating your own experience, internships by design. So today we are going to be talking about creating your own internship or opportunities within companies, and we'll have plenty of time hopefully for some questions at the end as well. So to get started here, I did want to introduce you to myself and my team. My name is Kayla Hamilton. I am the coordinator for the UCC Experiential Programs team. On the call, we also have our Assistant Director, Brianna Hobbs, our Assistant, Amy Howell, and then our other assistant is Alyssa Ungerman. So at any time, if you guys have any questions, you can throw those into that Q&A area. They'll ask them to me live, and then they'll also be able to answer those in that area as well. To kind of give you an idea of where we're headed today, first we're going to talk about what it actually means to create your own experience, what exactly we're talking about today, what it means to create your own internship. Next, we'll go over our steps for success, our documents that you should consider and what to include, our tips and tricks, some benefits to creating your own experience, some helpful resources that we have here on campus, and then finally we'll have some time for those questions. So first, what does it mean to create your own experience? That title is a little vague, but basically when an opportunity isn't available, make one. So if you've been searching for an internship or experience and you just can't find something that really interests you, or maybe you've exhausted all of your contacts and connections and you just can't seem to find something that's a good fit for you, this can be a really, really great option. So if you've been looking at a company, whether it be a specific company or industry, and you're not finding the internship posted there that you're looking for, maybe that company isn't hiring interns because the right opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. So you actually have the capability to go out, create an internship proposal, present it to a company, and see if they'd be interested in taking you on as an internship candidate. So just because a company doesn't have those internships posted doesn't mean they're not necessarily interested in hiring an intern or having somebody to give an experience to. Some things to consider before you get started in this journey of creating your own experience. First, you should ask yourself some of these questions. Number one, why do you want to do an internship? Students have a variety of reasons. It could be that you need that internship credit. Maybe you want a specific experience in a company or an industry. Maybe you're looking to build on some of those skills that you've learned in the classroom. There's a variety of reasons and they're all valid, but think of what you actually are wanting to do an experience for. Next, what does your ideal internship look like? So are you wanting to do something that's project-based? Are you wanting a lot of mentorship? Are you wanting to do an independent research study? Think about these things as you're kind of getting started and as you're looking into different types of opportunities. Additionally, what skills are you looking to build on or work on? So like I said, if there's something in the classroom that you started to work on, a program or a skill that you really want to bridge that knowledge gap between your academic career and your future career, these are more great things to think about, listing out all of those skills that you want to get out of a specific experience. Next, it's important to think about what your ideal time frame and your time commitment will be. So some students are really interested in having an internship over the summer. They, don't want to be taking classes while they're doing their internship at the same time. So maybe it's important to you that it's over the summer, or maybe it's important to you that it's in the fall. Maybe you have specific dates or specific time commitment in mind as far as number of hours. Maybe you want to do a part-time internship or a full-time internship. Again, these are all really important things to think about. And then next is whether or not you are requesting a paid or an unpaid experience. So again, this is where a lot of students differ. Maybe you are expecting to still be working part-time at a job where you'll be able to get paid and you don't necessarily need payment for your internship experience. Or maybe you really do want payment for your internship experience and you're looking for an opportunity that will pay you for whatever services you intend to provide. So these are all important questions to ask yourself before we move into the actual steps of creating that experience. So once we've considered all of these things, let's talk about what the steps are to actually creating this. For one, think about and know what you want to do. So at this point, you really want to define specific goals, specific learning outcomes, and identify what sort of projects align with what that might look like. So if you're somebody that's really interested in data, specific goals for you might be doing more research. It might be getting more experience learning a new program. It's really important to define these things on the front end. Number two, you want to think about where you actually want to do your internship. So this is where that research mind is really going to be important. Research the field and find different companies and different industries that align with the goals and the skills that you've decided that you want to work on. So after we've thought about those goals and those learning outcomes, let's look at companies that align with that. Maybe you find companies that are really into a specific department or have a specific department that you're interested in. Or maybe you find a company that's really aligned, their mission and statement is really aligned with what you're looking to do. Really do your research into these companies and identify a few where you think you could fit in and provide a service. Number three, prepare your resume and proposal. So we're going to jump into the resume and proposal here in a minute, but I do want to bring this up as part of the steps because really this is going to be kind of the bread and butter of creating your own experience. This is going to be the documents that you present to a company in order to create that experience. So your proposal really should just outline everything that we've talked about, the details of what you would like to do, how the company can benefit, what your knowledge, skills, and abilities are, and what those overall goals are. So the proposal is really going to answer a lot of those questions that we had before we even started this creation experience. And then number four, and probably most importantly, is to reach out. So this is probably, I would say, 50% of the battle of creating your own experience. Reaching out, finding good contacts at the companies that you're interested in, sending those documents that we talked about, and then following up. So maybe you haven't heard back, or maybe you did hear back and they said that they would agree to take you on. So definitely sending a follow-up thank you. But even if the answer was no, maybe you can build on those connections. And we'll talk about the connections piece of this a little bit more as well. But this reaching out piece, this connections and the network that you build around creating your own experience is probably one of the most important pieces. So next, let's break down those documents a little bit further. So first is the resume. And so obviously the resume is really important for applying for any number of experiences. But it might look a little bit different when the experience that you're applying for is one of your own creation. So it's important to think about the roles that are in the industry that you're applying to, the skills and the knowledge that are also important to that industry. And again, this comes down to doing your research, looking at what different roles exist, what skills are important to demonstrate on that resume, and what knowledge you really need to show how much you have to bring into an internship at a specific company. Next, we really want to tailor that resume to the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you are presenting in your proposal. So again, I'll go back to a research aspect of this. If you are doing a proposal to do research for a company, you're going to need to know how to use certain data skills. You're probably going to need communication and organization skills. So this is how you're going to tailor your experience and your resume to the specific internship that you're creating. Next, and with all resumes, we really want to show our transferable skills and really include those core or what some people call soft skills. Those things like communication, organization, your leadership abilities. A lot of students tend to fall flat a bit in this area and don't think about how previous experiences that they've had, whether it be in your academic career or in a part-time job or an organization, relate to other opportunities that you're applying for. So it's really important to kind of think about how all of these things come together for the specific experience that you're aligning with the company. And then lastly, and we'll talk about this a little bit more too, is to seek resume assistance. So the Career Center has many different options for gaining that resume assistance from a professional. And so when we get to our resources towards the end, I will break down each of the ways that you can get some help in this area with your resume, especially when it comes to applying your resume to a position that might not be in existence yet. So next, I really want to talk about the proposal. So the proposal is probably the most important document for creating your own experience. And there's quite a bit that goes into it. So like I said, all of those questions that we kind of thought about before we even started should be answered in this proposal. So first, you want this proposal to be extremely clear and concise. A description of the projects that you're wanting to do, those goals and those learning objectives that you want to get out of it for participating. And then we want to focus a little bit on the company as well. So why did you choose the company that you chose for doing this internship at? Again, maybe their mission and goals align with what you want to learn. Maybe they have a specific department that you're really interested in, or a project, or they're working with a specific software that you're interested in. This interest will go a long way in kind of moving your proposal forward in that company. Next, and one of the most important pieces is how can the company benefit from you doing an internship there? So you're going to get a lot of great experience probably out of doing this internship that you've created. You're going to build on skills, you're going to gain some networking, connections, and some mentorship. But more importantly, how will the company taking you on as a new body benefit them? So are you going to provide a neat service that maybe they don't have yet? Are you going to provide extra hands on a new project they have coming up? Are you going to be able to bring new ideas and innovations to the company that they can use? These are really important things to list out early on in this proposal. Next, and kind of going back to those questions that we answered at the beginning, list out your specific knowledge, skills, and abilities as it applies to the specific project you're working on or to the company as a whole. List out that availability and the time frame for your experience. So this is part of being really clear on what you're wanting out of this experience. Give them a time frame. Give them an hour per week or a couple of months or a couple of weeks where you're available and you're wanting to do this experience. And then lastly, and going back to that paid or unpaid piece, list out in this proposal if you're wanting a paid or unpaid experience. Obviously, a lot of companies will probably gravitate towards somebody who says, hey, I want to do an unpaid internship experience for you. But if you need a paid experience, list it out there. There is no harm in asking for that up front and being really transparent with what you're asking for in your proposal. Some tips for kind of making this all happen. So number one, and probably the biggest piece, is using your connections. We really want you to build out your network if you're taking advantage of creating your own experience. LinkedIn is a great resource, but also don't take for granted those resources that you have around you being at a university. So word of mouth can go a long way as far as you talking to your peers or your staff or faculty that you feel close to that might have connections in that industry. So start with those that are close to you. Start with those that are immediately around you, and then start to work your way out. So let's say you talk to your peer that was an intern at the company, and they connect you with their supervisor. And then that supervisor says, hey, I have a friend in this company I think would be really interested in this opportunity. And from there, you're starting to build out this awesome network of connections to really help you move along and build momentum towards your overall goal. And again, probably one of the more important pieces is to make this easy on the employer. So we talked about being very specific and concise in those documents. So you really want to spell out exactly what you're looking for and how it can be beneficial to that company. So providing this information on the front end, being very specific in your emails and in your communications, should make it easier for the employer to make that decision. Next, doing your research. So this is a very research-heavy endeavor. So you really want to put on that investigative hat, find those needs within a company that you can fill, find companies that you're interested in, find new roles and jobs that maybe you hadn't thought of before, and really figure out where that niche area that you can fill will be. And if you're not sure where to start, an informational interview can go a long way. And I really recommend doing an informational interview no matter what throughout this process. Again, it will help you build those connections, help you build that momentum, and they can be a great way to just get an in at a company. So if you've done some research and maybe you've identified that company that you want to apply your experience to, try to find an alumni, maybe a connection on LinkedIn that works there, and see if you can sit down with them for 15, 20 minutes and ask them some questions about, the work culture, what it's like to work there. Give them your proposal. See, hey, is there a person in your office I should talk to about doing this because I'm really interested after our conversation? And then from there, you'll also be able to build out those connections, and you'll go in with much more knowledge than you probably had before doing an informational interview. So what are the benefits to creating this experience for yourself? So obviously, going this route requires a little bit more work on your part, but that also comes with a lot of benefit. So number one, you can create an experience of your choosing. Maybe you've been going through job board after job board, and every experience is just not quite what you're looking for. They don't have all of the components. With creating your own experience, you can do that all on the front end, and you'll know that you're getting an experience that you want. Next, this gives you an opportunity to really flex those creativity and innovative skills. And that is a great transferable skill moving forward. Plus, it shows the employers that you're reaching out to just how creative and innovative you are and what you can bring to the company, those new ideas. Next, you can really fulfill your individual career objectives. So since you've decided basically every aspect of this experience for yourself, you're creating those career objectives. Now, we still suggest that you sit down with whoever your supervisor might be and talk about these objectives and maybe define them a little bit further. But this opportunity will really be tailored to your individual needs. And then lastly, and again, we'll say it a million times, this helps you build your network. And so networking and this connection piece is so key to gaining new opportunities, to making headway in an industry and helping you move along in future opportunities. And it's really important to keep in mind that even if your proposal is not initially accepted by a company, that doesn't mean that company might not be able to offer you an opportunity in the future. Maybe they just don't have the means right now, or maybe they've already kind of fulfilled all of their extra intern quotas for the year. But because you took the initiative to really show how you can add value to that company, they're probably going to keep you in mind for those future opportunities. And by building that connection, they might not have the opportunity open, but somebody else that they know in the industry might. And they can move your proposal forward. And from there, you can really find a great fit for you and maybe, again, build out that network and those connections. So it's really important to stay cordial through the entire process, following up, sending those thank yous, so that you're always seen as somebody that is creative and innovative and, most importantly, respectful through the process. So the last thing here I want to hit on is some of the resources that we have here on campus. And so I kind of wanted to do a quick shout out to our Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. This is a great resource for students that are really interested in more the business side of this creation experience. So if you have a business idea or you want to gain some of those startup and entrepreneurship skills, these are some really great resources to help you out on that journey. So the first thing that's listed on here is that you can participate in ComEdX or Galaxy accelerators. These are offered each semester. And I'm also going to have Amy in a moment. She will drop in the link to the Institute's website so that you can check out exactly when all of these things are happening next. And you can read a little bit further into all of these. But the great thing about this accelerator program is that even if you're not really interested or working on a business idea yet, you can still learn a lot of those entrepreneurship skills, and it can give you and help you give you the tools to help you start something on your own. The next piece is you can also participate in the Blackstone Launchpad and Techstars network. And so within this, you can gain a lot of those mentorships, a lot of those connections we've been talking about, and you get access to events and different speakers. We also have the E-Club on campus, which is the Entrepreneurship Club. And they're active with a lot of different events, again, more mentorship opportunities, a different kind of community that's surrounding all of these different entrepreneurship topics. And so there you can really meet with like-minded students that have an interest in this area to discuss and bring these things to campus. If you want kind of some more support on an academic side, you can also take an entrepreneurship course. These are available through Innovation and Entrepreneurship Office, and they can provide some insight into more of those hard skills that you need in order to start a new business or create a new venture. And then lastly, this is just a great reminder to not discount working or interning at a startup. So a lot of our students, especially in more technologically or business-minded academics, really are interested in working for one of the larger companies in that field, thinking of Fortune 500 or one of the Big 10 or Big 4. So while these can provide really, really great experiences, often students overlook the idea of working at a startup. And the things that you can get working at a startup are a little bit more in-depth than maybe some of those other experiences. Since they're always usually a little bit smaller and it's kind of all hands on deck, you can wear many different hats. You can probably speak with the executives of that company on a more intimate level. And it provides us a better overall experience for students that are kind of wanting to learn about the entire process. And then lastly here, I do want to shout out some of the UCC resources. So obviously we are a handshake school. We post all of our events. It's a great job and internship board, an area for researching companies. I've mentioned LinkedIn a couple of times in here, but I also want to give a shout out to LinkedIn Learning, which is free for students to use, great for skill building, offers a variety of different technical and soft skill building videos. I also want to talk about pretty quickly about Vault and Interview Stream. So these are two of what I usually call some of our more underutilized resources. So with Vault Campus, they provide a lot of different career guides as well as a job and internship board. That is another great place for doing some research into different programs that might exist. If you want to build your confidence in those online interviews or just doing mock interviews in general, that's what Interview Stream is designed for. So that can really help you out in kind of getting comfortable with the technology around doing virtual interviews and also practicing some of those questions. The last two on here are really kind of important to the topic that we're talking about today. So with BuzzFile, this is a great way to research companies. So in BuzzFile, you can type in your major and your location if you wish, and it will pop up with all these companies that hire your major specifically. And if you're looking for a specific region, you can include the location as well and find companies that hire your major in that area. And this can be a great jumping off point for finding those companies that you might be able to reach out to. And then U-Science is one of our newer personal assessments. And so this is a really great career and skill assessment to see what sort of skills you kind of naturally have and what industries or company or what industries or job roles make most sense with those skills that you already have. And so we have a number of other resources, including other types of assessments as well. I didn't have time to really list them all on here and go in depth. But if you visit our handshake page or our website, you can find all of these things there and read a little bit more about them. And then I did want to do a call out to all of the different resume assistance avenues that we have. There's a lot of different ways to get this resume assistance. So the order that they're listed on here is actually the order that I normally recommend students actually seek out this assistance. So any currently enrolled student and alumni can receive resume assistance in these ways. So you can email your resume to resumeeditor@utdallas.edu. You'll receive an email copy of your resume back with some tips and some comments to help you kind of move forward. Next is our virtual drop-in appointments. These occur for 2 hours a day from Monday through Thursday. You can visit our website for the links to these, and these are 15-minute appointments with our career ambassadors for your resume. And the last one, and probably the most in-depth resume assistance that you can get, is to schedule an individual appointment with one of our Career Center professionals. So we have a lot of different appointment types in there that you can choose from. Resume assistance is one of them, and these are a 30-minute one-on-one appointment virtually for now where we'll go through your resume with you in that time, offer assistance, provide you feedback and comments as well there. So again, there's a lot of information on the resources that we offer, but really visiting our website is the easiest way to learn a lot more about all these different resources. And so with that, I will take any questions that we have. If I don't get to your question or we don't quite have time for it, you can always contact us in a number of ways. So if you have any questions, you can email us at utdinterns@utdallas.edu. Additionally, if you want to learn any more about those opportunities within innovation and entrepreneurship that I talked about, you can visit their website at innovation.utdallas.edu. So with that, Amy, do I have any questions currently?
No questions so far, Kayla.
Awesome. So I'll give you all a couple of minutes to think on that too. I do want to call out some upcoming events that we have as well. So like I said at the beginning, this is event 1 of National Internship Awareness Month, but we do have a great lineup of events for you every week this month. And so if you want to, you can take a screenshot of this page. This information is also available pretty much everywhere we are, all of our social media, on our website, on our handshake. You can find all of the events for what we are doing this month. So we have quite a few panels listed on here. We have quite a few more seminars just like this one. All of the seminars that we have are 30 minutes in length, so hopefully it's not too cumbersome for you to come. Additionally, all of these, the seminars that we have will be recorded and posted later, and so that information will be sent out later as well. Okay. Did we have any last minute questions come in?
No, we don't, Kayla. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll actually take this back to that questions page just so that our contact information is still up there. If you guys do have any questions that you want to send to us later, you didn't want to ask in here, that's fine. You can email us at that email. Additionally, you can check out our website and the Innovation and Entrepreneurship website for more information on all of our resources and upcoming events. But with that, since I don't have any questions, that is all I have for you today. I hope to see you guys at more of our events this month, not just within National Internship Awareness Month, but just all of the other seminars and events that the Career Center has put together. So thank you so much and have a great day.